I think a sort of sector side, right? Because I'm obviously very sector focused on VR and AI specifically, or I should say more kind of 3D and AI specifically. So like that aside, right? If I'm just evaluating within that thesis, I always say like 90% of it is about the team at that stage, particularly pre-seed, right? Because it's like there's not going to be much. I mean, there are going to be pivots, right? That's all stuff you have to account for. The idea might not be the same in a year versus what you invested in today, right? So I think the thing that you need to be particularly convicted by is firstly just the team. And so I'll dig into that, but then also just generally liking the market. And I think the sort of vision that they're going after, right? Because I've had a few companies, for example, that they're doing very well, where their strategy changed, right? The product changed, but I think the end vision that they wanted to work towards, like the future that they wanted to work towards, is pretty consistent. It's just the means of getting there changed. But I think you really want to invest in like good people, kind of really thinking into the vision of the future that you imagine. I think on the founder side, there are definitely a few signals that you can look at. I mean, I think first and foremost, you just gotta, like, as an investor, it's like a very personal thing, right? It's like, you just have to decide, like, hey, is this a kind of guy or the team that I like enough that I want to talk to them once a week for the next few years and basically be married to them for the next 10, 15 years as their company successful. That's a very personal thing, right? So I don't think there's any specific like checkbox there. That's just effectively vibe check, right? It was like, I think the very first and foremost thing. Like I have very good relationships with a lot of my founders. A lot of it's just rooted in that. It's like people I just get excited about and they get excited about me, and it's just a fit, right? That's two-sided, by the way. It's, I think also if you're a founder and you're looking for pre-seed angels in particular, like don't take people just because of the money. Like if you don't like them, as if you don't get along with them as people. I think also for founders, it's very important advice. I think on a more technical level, of course, you're looking at some sort of credential from the standpoint of like, do you have reason to believe that they can carry out the vision that they want to carry out, right? So, if someone's pitching me an AI company, I obviously want to see some pretty legit like ML experience there. Just as like, to give you some data points that they can actually do it, right? They know what they're talking about. And then the single most important thing I think beyond that for me is iteration speed. So like how much have you done with what you have in a certain period of time. And the founders that I tend to get very excited about, I think, are the ones that really have managed to really build a lot of product or generate a lot of traction with very, very little resource in a very short period of time. That usually is a pretty good indicator to me that they're going to be hustlers, first of all, because that's really what you need at that stage. But also that they're extremely competent in rolling out product, and they'll be able to pivot quickly, right? They will be move quickly, which is I think very important at pre-seed. And I think particularly when you're playing in spaces like, let's say, AI now, right, where there's really going to be a lot of competition, and I think the landscape will change very, very quickly. You really want to see that, okay, you're backing a team that can be very dynamic and can react and iterate very quickly. I think those are the main things that I really look for at pre-seed.